economic neglect. This is what the fifth administration, under the tutelage of His Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto and ably assisted by Professor Kindiki, have set out to reverse. However, today, we stand at the precipice of a new dawn, a moment in time where the winds of change are blowing through Nyanza, ready to propel it to the greatness it so rightly deserves. It is indeed true, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a problem. Nyanza, we have a problem that has lingered for far too long. For over 60 years, we have been talking about what is wrong with this region, talking about what we plan to do and how we will do it and when we will do it. And yet, here we are, 61 years after independence, where nearly half of our people still live in abject poverty, struggling to meet food and other most basic needs. Allow me, Your Excellency, with your permission, to enumerate just but a few of those challenges. One of the most fundamental concerns that we have here is youth unemployment. Youth, as we all know, are the backbone of any society, and they represent the future of this region. But how can we expect them to thrive when the opportunities to develop their potential are so scarce? When we look at the youth in our towns, the villages, and the cities, we see brilliant minds, energetic hands, and hopeful hearts, but they are often left idle, unfortunately, without adequate access to employment, skills development, or investment in business ventures, and yet their talents remain untapped. Today, ladies and gentlemen, 61 years after independence, it is regrettable that 40% of the population in Nyanza lives in abject poverty, unable to meet even the most basic food needs. This is not just a statistic. It is the reality that we must change working together. We must not allow another generation to be left behind. The poverty levels are stark reminder of how much we still need to do and how much potential lies within our reach if we can leverage the resources and opportunities within our disposal. The region's economic contribution paints a grim picture, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that Nyanza counties, all put together, contribute just 9.3% to Kenya's manufacturing sector. Compare and contrast that with Nairobi County, which accounts for 27.5% contribution to our GDP. On average, in the 6 counties of Nyanza, agriculture is at 23.3% compared to other areas whose contribution is 7.6%. These numbers, ladies and gentlemen, are more than just statistics. They represent the lives, they represent the potential untapped, and they represent the future delayed. These disparities, good people, extend beyond economics. Nyanza has the highest under 5 mortality rate in the country, at the threshold of 54 deaths per 1,000 live births, compared to the national average of 41 deaths per 1,000 live births. According to the Demographic and Health Survey Report 2022, Migori has the highest 73 deaths per 1,000 live births, Siaya 63 deaths, and Homa Bay 61 deaths. Health infrastructure, again, unwarrantably, in Nyanza is woefully inadequate. Kiambu alone boasts 13 level 4 hospitals, while the entire 6 counties of Nyanza have 5. The average life expectancy of Nyanza is 58 years, compared to the national average of 67. The implication of this, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you are from Nyanza here and you are more than 58 years, you are living on borrowed time. These are statistics from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Water access is another glaring challenge. While 22.7% of households in Nairobi have piped water to the main house, in Nyamira and Kisii, it is a mere 0.9% and 1.01% respectively. These are not just figures on a report. They are the daily struggles of our people. And yet we have Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake and the world's second largest freshwater lake. It remains an underutilized resource that could revolutionize the region's economy. How I wish we joined hands so that we can attain full capacity utilization or optimal capacity utilization of Lake Victoria. This lake should be a lifeline. It should be an engine for economic growth. It should be our pride. With 14 million people in the Lake Region economic bloc dependent on the lake for their livelihoods, Your Excellency, we cannot afford to continue this disservice to ourselves. The recurring floods of Kano Plains and Nyando and the unfortunate fatalities caused by hippos in the lake cannot be the legacy of such a powerful natural resource. This must end, and it must end now. Lake Victoria is the gateway to the East African community and the larger Great Lakes region with a market of over 100 million people. This, Your Excellency, presents a business opportunity in inter-county and intra-country logistics and trade. Spanning the 3 East African countries, it offers opportunities for lake transport to move commodities like oil and agricultural produce right from here within Nyanza to the entire East African region. By encouraging intra-regional trade and enhancing connectivity between counties and neighboring countries, we will open new markets, enhance supply chains, and facilitate the exchange of both goods and services. Creating favorable policies and trade partnerships will build stronger economic ties in the East African region. The vast resources of Lake Victoria present immense opportunities for the fish processing sector. By modernizing processing plants, improving quality control, and expanding value-added products, the region can tap into global markets, thereby contributing to both economic growth and sustainable development. The Lake Victoria Ring Road, which has been envisaged for quite a long time, would be a transformative infrastructural project for this region, Your Excellency. It will boost tourism, it will boost regional trade, it will facilitate interconnectivity and access between the counties of Nyanza and beyond. It will serve as a critical economic artery, facilitating faster transportation and opening up trade corridors across the entire East African region. It is something that we need to pursue to a logical conclusion. The other glaring example is the Nyanza tourism circuit, which is part and parcel of the wider Western tourism circuit, Your Excellency. It offers a rich tapestry of cultural, historical, and natural attractions. This circuit, Your Excellency, encompasses several counties, including Kisumu, Homa Bay, Siaya, Migori, Kisii, Nyamira, each contributing unique experiences for travelers. Some of the key attractions within the circuit are the Kisumu Museum, the Impala Sanctuary, the Hippo Point, the Tabaka Soapstone Carvings, the Kisii Highlands, the Kitmikai, Nyamira Tea Zones, Ekenyoro Cultural Sites, and Ruma National Park, just to mention but a few. The Ministry of Tourism, Your Excellency, you are aware, has put in place plans to facilitate integration of this circuit with major tourist destinations such as the Masai Mara. And this is a step in the right direction, being spearheaded by the 5th administration under the leadership of President William Ruto. For decades, our fate has been dictated by the politics of the day in this region. Our fortunes have risen and fallen at the whim of political shifts and turns, innuendos, if I may call it, instead of being built on the solid foundation of economic progress driven by solid investments on the ground. But let me say here today, our story does not have to continue like this. The prosperity of Nyanza must be defined by economics, not only politics. Whereas the national policy narrative has been that resources follow functions, unfortunately, here in Nyanza, the reality has previously been that resources follow voting patterns. This may be our past, but it cannot be our future. The people of Nyanza deserve better. Your Excellency, your presence at this investment conference representing His Excellency the President himself, who ought to have been the chief guest here, but seconded you to represent him at this conference due to other extraneous factors which interfered with his schedule, is a clear testimony that this fifth administration wants to shift the paradigm to a new era of inclusivity and a new narrative where resources are determined by investments. It is possible because Nyanza has produced great minds. We have engineers, we have got doctors, surveyors, artists, lawyers, architects, and countless other professionals. Yet this region is still trapped in a cycle of poverty. In fact, we have been boasting that you don't need to throw a stone when you are in Nyanza because you run the risk of hitting the head of a professor. But how I wish that in the not too distant future, if you throw a stone in Nyanza, you run the risk of hitting the head of an investor. Our attraction must not be based on the count of votes, but rather the countless ventures and opportunities and our return on economic investments, Your Excellency. It is therefore time to break away from the shackles of political slogans and focus on what truly matters, which is the regional comparative advantages of the Nyanza counties, investment-friendly opportunities, and unique selling propositions informed by the comparative advantages. We need a situation where we see SACCO memberships outnumber political party memberships. That is when Nyanza will be in business, so that we foster a culture of economic participation over and above political considerations. Consider the Kuria region, for example, which boasts immense agricultural potential driven by fertile soils, abundant rainfall, and a highly enterprising population. This, Your Excellency, is one of Kenya's leading producers of sweet potatoes. Yet the Getonganya sweet potato processing factory in Kuria West operates at only a fraction of its 40-ton capacity utilization potential. This inefficiency limits job creation. It reduces farmers' incomes and allows middlemen to exploit local producers. There are abundance of opportunities for public-private partnerships, Your Excellency, by way of direct foreign capital inflow. Again, another case in point is the livestock sector. Kuria is renowned for high-quality cow hides, yet the Karamu Abata lacks processing capacity. As a result, Your Excellency, hides are sold cheaply to middlemen. Imagine somebody buying a hide, a cow skin at 50 shillings. The same cow skin is processed and exported to Italy, and they utilize it to make 3 pairs of Bali shoes and come back to sell it to us at a whopping 50,000 per pair of shoes. It cannot continue like this. This region, Your Excellency, is also a producer of high-quality coffee. Yet limited infrastructure and processing capacity have inhibited the full potential of the people of Kisii in this regard. The sugar sector is a case well in point, once a cornerstone of regional economic growth, but is poised for powerful resurgence, hopefully, with the recent enactment of the Sugar Act 2024. The government, I'm aware, and we are aware, that has got plans of bringing in private sector investors to lease those sugar factories so that they can attain optimal capacity utilization levels for the benefit of the farmers and the wider citizenry. For Nyanza, this will be a game changer, Your Excellency, because it will enhance agricultural output, create thousands of jobs, and boost smallholder farmers' incomes. We have a wealth of untapped natural resources, and one of the greatest assets lies in soapstone mining in Tabaka within Kisii County. Known for its unique aesthetic appeal and its potential for use in a variety of industries, from sculptures to construction materials, the soapstone from Kisii is a natural treasure that we need to exploit. We also have the largest rice farming belt, Your Excellency, in Ahero and West Kano irrigation schemes. This can be revived by modernizing the industry through the introduction of better irrigation techniques, technology, improved seeds as a means of a value proposition. A survey by Egerton University's Tegemeo Institute in the recent past, Your Excellency, espoused that rural households consuming maize flour have declined to 78% in the recent past from upwards of 86%, while households consuming rice on the flip side of it has increased from 54% to 61%. Nyanza also has rich soil for cotton farming, which can support and boost the textile industry. I dream of a time when Kisumu International Airport lives up to its name, hosting flights across the globe, not just from Nairobi. These flights should carry the fruits of our labor, not human beings. The fruits of our labor, bananas, avocados, and tea from Kisii and Nyamira, fish from our lake, sugar from the sugar belt, and sweet potatoes from Korea, all destined to international markets. We have set sights, Your Excellency, on a shillings 2.1 trillion plan to extend the Standard Gauge Railway. If this comes to fruition, it will again open up the entire lake region for purposes of commerce, trade, and even mobility. Another case in point is mining, particularly at the Makalda mines in Migori County. The mines are rich in valuable minerals like gold, copper, and zinc. Yet, despite this incredible potential, they remain vastly underdeveloped. In fact, it's mind-boggling, Your Excellency, that when you visit some of the gold mining areas in Nyanza, the only evidence that you have to espouse that mining has taken place is very wide-gapping holes. Yeah? There is no indicator by way of improvement in the standards of living of the owners of the parcels of land where the mining takes place. This is a trend that we must reverse. With proper investment, technology, and expertise, we can turn the Makalda mines into a vibrant industry that not only drives economic growth for the region, but also enhances Kenya's global positioning in the marketplace. Koru Soin Dam, this, Your Excellency, would be a game changer. It would be a game changer because it would mitigate against the floods we have been witnessing in Kano. It would augment the efforts of the Sondu Miriu hydroelectric power plant by way of energy. It will facilitate last mile connectivity of water to our homes, and during dry spells, it will also facilitate irrigation for our crops. It is a project that we need to pursue to a logical conclusion. Another one is the Magwagwa Multipurpose Dam in Nyamira. This dam is designed to support a 13,000 hectare irrigation scheme benefiting the counties of Nyamira, Kisumu, Vihiga, Kericho, Bomet, and Homa Bay. In equal measure, we need to pursue this dam to a logical conclusion. I'm aware that Lake Basin Development Authority has been pursuing certain partnerships. The national government, of course, equally needs to come in and see what needs to be done, including but not limited to public-private partnerships. That dam represents a significant infrastructure in Kenya, and it would bolster both energy production and agricultural productivity in the region. I want there, as I summarize, to call all of us to action, ladies and gentlemen. The time to act is now. The challenges are real, but the opportunities are endless. Nyanza's growth and prosperity are within our reach, but it requires bold action, investment, and collaboration. And that's why we are reaching out to all stakeholders, including but not limited to private sector investors. I stand before you here today to call on all stakeholders, the national government, the county government, investors, the diaspora, professionals, development partners, name it, to join hands with us as a people of Nyanza and transform Nyanza into an economic powerhouse. This transformation, Your Excellency, will require investment in infrastructure, especially in the transportation and energy sectors. It will require skills development programs for our youth to prepare them for the job market of tomorrow. Public-private partnerships that foster collaboration between government, the private sector, and international donors, and support for local entrepreneurs in sectors such as agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. The promise of this region is immense, and it is within our power to realize it. The time for talking is over. Now is the time for action. Together we can unlock the potential of Nyanza and transform it into a thriving, prosperous region that contributes meaningfully to the economy of Kenya. With vision, determination, and strategic partnerships, we can shift from an economy of dependency to an economy of innovation and sustainable self-sufficiency. But none of this is possible without your support, good people. It is you, our investors, the donors, the partners, the professionals within our midst here, who hold the key to unlocking Nyanza's full potential. We cannot leave everything in the hands of the national and county governments. We must come in as agents of necessity to also augment their efforts. This conference, therefore, Your Excellency, is not just a gathering of ideas. In my view, and well-considered opinion, it is a birthplace of action. What we do today together will shape the future of generations to come. The investments that we make, the partnerships that we form, will not only yield financial returns, but they will also be a testimony of our belief in the people of Nyanza and the boundless opportunities in this region, and for the greater good of Kenya as a whole. We are not waiting for change. We are creating that change ourselves. We are embracing Nyanza's potential, breaking free from the chains of our past and reaching for the stars in the future. We, the people of Nyanza, are asking you all to work with us. In return, I promise one thing, that your investment will not just be measured by profits alone. It will be measured in the stories of young entrepreneurs, of farmers whose lives are transformed, of communities empowered, of infrastructure that drives growth, and of a region that rises to meet the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. And I see a future, Your Excellency, where no young child in Nyanza struggles to survive childhood. This is our opportunity. The challenges are clear, but so are the opportunities. We have the resources, we have the people, and most importantly, we have the will to change. It's time to transform Nyanza. This will require transformational leadership, and it will require the input of all of us. The future of Nyanza starts today. The time for action is now. Yes, we can do it, and it must be done. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, with your permission, may I now have the distinguished honor and privilege to invite the host governor, who is also the chairman of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, to come forward, introduce the governors who are here, then make a few remarks, and subsequently invite the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury to introduce all the government officials present, make a few remarks, and then finally invite the CS for Trade and Investment, Mr. Lee Kinyanjui, to make remarks and invite Your Excellency to address the gathering. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, my dear friend and colleague, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the governors, my fellow governors who are here, Governor Jim Orengo of Siaya. Jim, can you wave to the crowd? Governor Arati from Kisii, Governor Wang